today we're gonna upgrade our pool. So before we start, we're gonna start with this filtration system, the new pump. So the last pump, I'm gonna show you a little bit of video on the last pump. It wasn't cutting it. The filters kept getting stuck with gooey stuff and debris, and it was just not working properly. I had to go back and forth and decrease and release some air. It was a hassle. So today we're gonna upgrade the actual pump along with the filtering system and see how that works. So let's go ahead and unbox it, and then we'll set it up too with some instructions how to set this up properly. And some extra stuff you had to buy just in case you need to buy something like this for this kind of pool. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys what to do. It won't move after, so you have to make sure you place it in place. So we'll move. Bottom filter, this is the filter, it's sucking in the water. This goes in here, if you guys can see it, goes in the bottom here. The tubing, this actually locks in here. Put it in place in the bottom, all right? All right, take it off, all right? On the side, pump is gonna go here, but you have to fill it with sand first, so. All right, so we're gonna start with preparing this motor here, and it has little stickers, little tapes that you have to remove, and that's for the oval rings to keep in place. So we're gonna have to go ahead and start there, and this is one of the parts that you have. When you get it separate, of course, you got to make sure that this is one end goes in there, and make sure that it covers in there the whole thing, because once things you're gonna tie it in another end here too also. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in this place here. This one goes on the outside, and you can see everything that's coming in along with the filter, and if there's any cloth or any material, you're gonna see it there get clogged right there. Then we grab this end to the intakes. This is the intakes where it's all the filter system, all the stuff that's coming on from inside, from B&B, go in here. This gets automatically pushed into the filter. So we're gonna go and continue with the next setup. Now here we go with the short valve. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on. Remove the tape for the O-rings. That's holding up all the O-rings so they won't get lost. Remove that. One system goes here. This is going to bend to the top, so make sure it's all nice and clean. If it starts leaking, it's because one of the O-rings is maybe damaged or ripped. There's up. Goes in here. The system goes there. Once this is set up, we're gonna put this in here. This system goes here. This system goes here, and this is where you tied it up. This is where you actually tied up right there. So we're gonna continue as soon as we put the sand in here and the water. But first we're gonna put this on the floor because it's a little heavy duty. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on the floor. All right, so removing the old system is very simple. You gotta make sure you clog these two things, all right? You cap them up on the other side because if you don't, water's gonna leak. You wanna make sure that you cap those first prior to starting this. We're gonna go ahead and close the valve here. There's a valve here. You close it down, all right? It says close. And it's completely closed. It's gonna leak some water. We're gonna go ahead and leak some water. So we're gonna go ahead and cap them out. This corner here, I'm gonna take this out and cap it. All right, so we're gonna get this plug. We're gonna go in here, we'll plug it in. So we'll make sure it won't leak out. That should do it. So you see the plug. It's gonna leak out some water, whatever's left over. We do the same to the other side too, to the both fees, all right? So let's make sure you do that. You're gonna leak a couple of water. You're gonna leave a lot of massive water when you remove that one. Release the water. We lock this side in, and then we release the water and loosen this up and get rid of whatever water's in there. Removing your old one. It shouldn't be a lot of water. And that's it. That's removing it, so it's locked in here. And we got the caps on both sides. We loosen that one up, we loosen this up. So that's another thing we did, so like it. All right, so I got a set of bricks here right next to the, and it's elevated about 2 inches high off the ground. So in case it leaks, I have some sort of sterilizations where it's not gonna overflow on the machine itself, just in case I don't want to damage the machine. So recommended to elevate it at least with something, so in case it does overflow, it won't damage your machine, because it's a little valuable, so you don't want to mess it up. All right, this is going to be probably the hardest part that you have to do, replacing this valve here. So we're going to replace this whole thing with this, and this goes on the outside. If you guys see it, it's going to go like this. And you're asking me, why are you replacing it? Why can't you just twist it? Well, actually this one has an extra valve in here that needs to be installed, so you need to replace the whole thing. I'm going to leave this here intact, but I'm going to have to replace the back end. So when you stick this out, it's going to come out through the back, and this is going to be on the other side, of course, and this is going to be attached to this part right here. We're going to leak some water, of course, so this is where you have to prepare yourselves to get wet. So let's go ahead and do that. Starts leaking water. We seal it in, so we replace this valve, it's the original one, with the new one, and we seal it in. Lots of water leaked out, so you gotta be fast. You need help with this, all right? So make sure you seat it up from both ends so it won't leak. Hold it tight, no leakage. Make sure that you have the oval ring from the outside embedded in there, or it's gonna start leaking. Gotta make sure you have both sides. This on this side, not on this side. Only one oval ring on the other side, on the back end, on the front end, on the water end, right? So that's already there. Now we could put this back in place. I could have kept this original in place, but this one came with an extra valve. If you guys see it here, it's a little cap to get some air in there. And that's pretty much an intake to get air so you can flow some more. But right now we're gonna keep the cap. We're gonna lock it in, make sure it's all locked so water won't leak. We made the changes from this valve, the original cap actually, to the secondary cap. And of course it changes if you see the coordination from different angles. So you gotta make sure you have this one, and this is the original. We're gonna keep the original tubing, so it'll be much easier for us to make the changes. So let me just go ahead and make some changes to the tight. We're gonna set it up now. We elevate it, and we're gonna take V valves in here. All right, so make sure the oval ring is on. You got to make sure that's on. All right, put it face to face, twist it up, make sure it lines up properly, twist it in there, and you're set. Now the secondary has to be on this end. It's going to be on top of the other intake. So we're going to go ahead and put it in there right in place as soon as we put the sand here. We're going to cap it up if we can and put in sand, and there's a line, minimum, maximum. So we're going to go ahead and sand it up, and then we throw a little bit of water in here so you can make sure it fixes himself up. We plug the sucker in there. We're going to have to back wash it first after, make sure that there's enough pressure in here, and then crack the whole thing up. So let's go ahead and do that. Put some water on it, but first try not to put any sand in here in the middle. And I bought this 50-pounder sandbag. Put some in there. It's getting lighter. Nice and slow. Some water in there so it can settle. Okay, got a couple of things. It's leveled up. We're at, we need some more. It's not even at minimum. Let's just settle down. We'll wait, see if the dust settles and see if it goes good. It's not covering any kind of particles. This thing has to go underneath it. Out here.
So we have to twist this here. There we go. This one goes in here. First, we're gonna move this. We're gonna move these things out first. Those the rings there. Make sure we got that part. This the back end. This end goes to where it says out. All right, in, out. Make sure the O-ring's fitting. Once you get that going, we can pull it back. So get a better twist on the whole thing. We're gonna cap it up. We're gonna tie it up now. You want to make sure you have access to this easier, right? So make sure it's in a certain way where you're gonna be able to untie this whole thing. All right, so that's a little tight right there, so it's good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the plastic cap that it came with. It's right here. And this, we can start removing this stuff, the gauges, for the gauges. You can see how much pressure we have in there. Looks neat. Here is where we're gonna be taking the water out, so backwash. So you might get another hose and extension out somewhere where it's not gonna leak in your area. So we'll do that in a bit too. All right, so for the backwash, I have the regular hose, 1.5 I believe it is. I'm not quite sure the size, but I bought an extension actually. So I'm gonna plug this in, and I like this one. It has 2 valves. I'll put this in the description too. So this is a pretty good thing that I bought this. You just put it in here. Goes to the first section. We tied it up, and then all we have to do is put it in here, the original cap for the backwash. So I don't want to leak anywhere here. Make sure that there's no particles. And we're good. All right, so we're ready almost to go. We're gonna do the backwash so we can get some pressure in here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on in a bit. Right now it's on neutral. I'm gonna rinse, and then we're gonna do the backwash first, and then we're gonna rinse. So let's go ahead and do the instructions first, what we need to do, all right? All right, so now we're gonna release the cap here, if you guys see it. So water's gonna be flowing to the system. Put the other one out too. Here it is. And I see a leakage already, if you see it right there. So we're gonna have to fix that right now. It's leaking, we fixed it. So this is where you find out. Right now we have it going out. We're gonna release this valve too. Let it flow out. Release some valve here. Make sure it's gonna flow good. All right, so we turn it on right now. We'll go ahead and crank it up. But first, we gotta make sure we backwash first. So we're gonna go ahead and change it to backwash. Backwash, no, it's right here if you guys can see it. It's just in 3 different languages. So move it to the right. Go ahead and do that. And see the pressure gauge? We're gonna go ahead and crank it up. Start backwashing for like 2 minutes. Release some water, clean it out. So you gotta program how many minutes you wanna do it. I'm gonna do it for 2 minutes, so it's gonna release water. It's not leaking no more. You just got to make sure you tie these things up very good. Everything has to be tied really good. Right now we're building up the pressure here. You don't want it to go in red, of course, you know. So we're gonna stop this now. So we do rinse now. So we go to rinse. Then we go ahead and start it for another 2 minutes. Rinse. See the gauge? Okay, we'll go ahead and stop it. Then we're all set to go. All we have to do is start filtering. For how long? We're gonna put 2 minutes for now, just to see how it works. And we'll see if it's blowing anything up here. It's unlocked already, and if you can see it, it's working. I feel it. Oh, it's stronger. This is way stronger. Good feedback. Then we start connecting the rest of the valves that we want. Very quiet, very, very quiet. Like it. We set it for 2 minutes for now. So then we can start removing this valve here and cap it out. So let's do that. So far, I'm very impressed. Look at how quiet it is right now. I'll put 2 minutes for now. Gauge just seems okay. It's on green, so we're good. We capped it out, so it won't rinse back. It's completely sealed. No leakages at all whatsoever. I plugged my skimmer, and look at it. It's working now. It's picking up everything now. It's sucking in. You can see the water flow circulating. If you have a circular pool, it's best if you twist it on one side, the actual valve that's sticking out, so it can circulate the filtration system. It's doing its job, man. I like it. In fact, I'm gonna show you. It caught a couple of leaves on this part right here. See the leaves are right there? Caught it. Won't go through the filter. This is to let go of extra air if you want to. The rinsing. So when you first get it, backwash, then rinse it, and then you could turn it on the filter. So you could bypass the pump, and the filter's gonna go straight out. But what's gonna happen? It's gonna leak the water out. So you got to make sure you have another valve. So what I did, I put a long tubing that goes all the way to the back, and it goes out to the yard in the back. So I'm not worried about where the water's gonna go. So far the system's working really well. I could feel it, I could see it. Great results. I like it all around. So it's working.